Hey everybody, this is Sunday Night. I'm going to do a one-take video here where I basically give you my thoughts on Endwalker and also tell you why I am not going to be playing Final Fantasy XIV anymore. Not that it really matters, because it's not for any bad reason. It's just literally my reasons. But anyway, this is going to be one of those videos where I don't have a script. I'm just kind of sitting here in my extremely messy room. I don't have any video footage to show you because I don't have an active subscription to capture footage from. So yeah, this is what it is. So let me go ahead and get started with why I'm quitting. Well, to answer that question, requires me to re-explain some of the points in the last video, but basically I have been playing MMOs since 2005, since I've been able to actually start paying for them on my own, and honestly I'm burned out. In fact, even with World of Warcraft, there's times where like I will go a couple months without playing the game, and then I'll come back and play some more, and I'll be just fine for a little while, and then I'll quit and do other things. And that's more than likely what I'm going to do here. I'm going to quit playing Final Fantasy XIV. I'm going to go find another game to play. I'll probably, I know on stream last night I did the one chip challenge, but before that I did a little bit of art and I played Blasphemous. I find things to do. The thing for me is I'm not a creature of habit. I get really bored of doing the same thing over and over. And I just, even though there's so many different varieties of content to do in Final Fantasy XIV, I just didn't feel like continuing to play the game. It really truly felt like I was just grinding constantly, and I just, that's part of playing an MMO, right? You're constantly grinding, you're trying to accomplish some sort of goal that you have set, or you're just trying to live in that world. It depends on who you are as a player. For me, I'm a very goal-oriented person, and so I have to have a goal. And when I have a goal, I don't stop trying to work on that goal in the game. It even has come to the detriment of me not doing group content with friends when they're trying to look for groups, to do things because, well, I'm kind of in the middle of doing this one thing that I have to do for this other thing that I want to get. So, it's all a me problem. It's one of those my fault type situations, right? Because I'm the one not taking breaks from those different things, but that's just how I like to play these games, so it is what it is. I'm not going to say I'm not going to play the game again, because even with World of Warcraft, I've jumped in there for at least 2 hours in the last month. But I'll definitely more than likely jump into playing Final Fantasy again here within the next few months or so, whatever. I've had a little bit of time away. And then I'll be able to take in all this content that has come out, and I don't know, maybe we'll do some Savage raids. I don't know. I'm not really into doing Savage content and all that because I've had my days of hardcore raiding. That's years ago. Never again. But anyway, at this point, let me go ahead and give you my thoughts on Endwalker so that way I can cap off this video and kind of conclude all these Final Fantasy videos that I've been making. Endwalker, it's a great expansion. Just like everybody already knows, it's a great expansion. It's got a great story. Honestly, it really dealt with the feeling of hopelessness to an extent that I feel like Shadowbringers kind of really did a better job of, fighting with that hopelessness, thing than Endwalker did. But, Endwalker did a pretty good job of that too, because you're basically facing an entity that is at the very edge of the universe that in all intents and purposes, shouldn't be able to get to, So it was definitely, it definitely had its moments where it was just like, how is this going to play out? How is this going to end? Is everybody on the planet going to die? Are we going to move on to another planet? Are we going to have a whole new world to explore? Like, what's going to go on? It was definitely interesting how that all kind of come together. obviously realizing that this seemingly harmless girl or familiar that looks like a girl or a harpy was basically not only an empath but also had six sisters that basically like, shared like this hive mind thing, and all of them are experiencing all this world's destruction across the universe, and they're all sharing their thoughts into one, you know, pool of consciousness. Really kind of gave like a sympathetic enemy kind of vibe to it, because you make friends with this character as you're, you know, exploring Elpis, and seeing what you know, the people that came before everyone, you know, seeing what they experienced, all that stuff like within that little area, and you learn so much about them. Um, I thought that was something really cool. And then you realize that things like Fandaniel is more of a social class than it was someone's name, which was weird because everybody's referred to as their social class. It feels like is Emmett Selk his social class? Like, how does that? Like, it's hard for me to just sit there and be like, what's going on here? But that being said, it's like it was interesting to see how that all played out, and then facing off against Hades, you know, uh, because he's trying to help. You know, he thinks he's doing the right thing, but he's not. So it was kind of it was kind of interesting how that played out. But honestly, my favorite zone in its entirety was Garlemald. Going out there and seeing the devastation that Xenos and Fandaniel had caused, seeing, basically all of the, civilians who were still of right mind, being so afraid of the grand companies of Eorzea and being worried that they are there to slaughter them or enslave them or whatever. Them thinking that you were the enemies when they the entire time were the ones that were following orders from people who were kind of doing it for nefarious reasons. Like, they didn't even know that, their leadership were evil, that they had evil intentions. So it was really really kind of interesting to see how that all kind of worked out. And then of course there was some of the people that had been there for years that, were kind of indifferent. They're just like, well, we're just kind of here to do a thing. That's just the way our life is. We'll help you out for in exchange for this. It was definitely an interesting zone. There was definitely different layers to it. And it was kind of cool seeing uh like in previous expansions when you got wit like got glimpses of Garlemald, it was such an immaculate looking, highly militarized, um, awesome looking city, town, whatever. It definitely looked like it was a place of power. But then when you finally get there and see it in person, it's all destroyed. It's like, holy crap. Like, there's no more of this place left whatsoever. That whole area is just wrecked. And it was just kind of cool to see all that. Um, and, the people's reaction and everything. The story felt compelling enough in that region that that region I feel like it blew right by, as opposed to other regions where sometimes I'll sit there with one dialogue box open, my ADHD flaring, and I'll be sitting there watching videos on YouTube or whatever on another monitor, and then eventually I'll come back to it and continue on with the story and stuff. But Garlemald was one of those that actually kept my attention the entire time, and that was nice. I loved that. Um, and then moving on from Garlemald to the moon and realizing that you're basically a puppet to Fandaniel's scheme, and also finding out that freaking Xenos is also a puppet, basically, to, meet the ends that Fandaniel has set of, getting the final days, you know. And it felt really weird. Like Xenos really seemed like he just didn't care that he was a puppet at this point. He's just kind of standing there quiet, letting it all play out. And then you fight Zodiark, and he's just kind of like, whatever. Walks off, does his own thing. Yeah, I don't know. It felt like Xenos should have had a bigger part in this expansion and been a bigger threat than he was. And sure, he ended up kind of being a final boss, but it was more of like, in Final Fantasy VII, after you defeat Sephiroth, with your different parties and stuff, but then you have one final fight with him as just Cloud, and you're against Sephiroth there. It kind of felt like Xenos was this game's Sephiroth while not being at the same time. It's kind of weird. Like, you kind of got a little bit of closure on that Xenos arc, I guess, because he's finally dead and left alone at the edges of the known universe. But I felt like he had a bigger role to play. I feel like he probably did have a bigger role to play originally, but with the pandemic and everything going on, they probably had to cut a lot of content. I feel like they probably cut his content. Who knows? Maybe we'll see some time traveling type of experience that includes Xenos here coming up. I know I haven't been able to experience the Pandemonium content as of right now, and that's something that I'll probably be, YouTubing, like looking up on YouTube here sometime in the next few days, just kind of see what I missed out on. But yeah, as far as like the Xenos story, I feel like there should have been more, and there probably was, but I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I mean, other than that, the only thing I could really comment that other than that on is, I enjoyed playing Dark Knight. Dark Knight, I feel like, is kind of my class. Reaper is really fun. It's probably one of the only DPS classes that I really feel like I grasped so far. It feels really smooth, and it definitely feels like something that I'm used to playing from World of Warcraft. The rotations on it feels like it makes more sense to me, and I like how you can kind of treat their rotation as more of a priority system rather than a 2-minute freaking opener with like a 10-minute freaking rotation that follows it. Like a lot of the classes go. I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like a lot of these rotations and everything could just be macroed. If you were to go off of a lot of the guides on the internet, like, they may be the most optimal way to do things, but I feel like, I don't know, I have a hard time memorizing a 2-minute long opener. Just it just, I don't know, it feels weird. So yeah, Reaper has felt great for me. It I didn't get a chance to try out Sage. I'm not really a healing player anyway, so I don't know that I'll ever really try it, but I'll probably do it just so I can at least say that I unlocked that job. But, good stuff in the end. So Reaper and Dark Knight, my two chosen jobs at this point. I know a lot of folks were disappointed with the changes to Reaper or lack of changes, but I thought they were pretty decent. I still liked my salted earth as one of those that you can like place in another part of the room and not right there at your feet specifically. But I could see why they did it, and it feels good. Honestly, it feels a little better than how it did before, because before you could click the ability or press the button press your hotkey for it. But if you had anything on global cooldown, you couldn't actually drop the salted earth until that global cooldown was over. So that didn't feel too great before. Now it feels more instantaneous and, feels more natural. So that's nice to have. I did like how it was before because I could basically drop it in another part of the room underneath a group of enemies while I'm charging into another group. So that way, you know, the healer and DPS could go all out on stuff, and I would at least have the initial threat on the enemies and then gather them all together. So that is something that I miss about it, but you know, it's not a huge problem. Most of the time the healers can, you know, react fast enough to, you know, counteract any negatives that may come from, you know, someone pulling aggro while I'm still trying to gather all the enemies together. So it's not a huge deal. But anyway, other than that, I really don't have a whole lot to say. So Endwalker, really good, really good. I do feel, I will put this in here again, I do feel like, you know, I will be returning back to the game eventually, but I don't think I'm going to make content on it. You know, if I stream it, I'll probably stream it, but I'm probably not going to make videos on it. So I do apologize for anybody who's followed because of my Final Fantasy videos. I hope you'll stick around to see what else I do here in the near future. For right now, I don't know like exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'll probably be doing a little bit of variety for a little bit. You know, I'm the kind of person that likes games like Dark Souls, Bloodborne. Just last night, I streamed myself doing some art, while also afterwards, you know, I played Blasphemous. That's a great game to play. Very difficult, but it's a great game to play. And then I did the one chip challenge. I told you I was going to do the one chip challenge, and I posted about it on Twitter, telling everybody, hey, I'm doing it, you know, on this day. And then I did it. And I regret doing it because my stomach is still a wreck the very next day, but I will survive. But yeah, I will be posting a clip of me doing the one chip challenge to the YouTube channel sometime shortly after I post this video. I just have to probably download it and edit it down because it's a whole lot of me just kind of sitting here quiet and rethinking my life choices. Honestly, I think I went about 36 seconds with the chip before I had to take a drink of something. It was that bad. And then, of course, my mouth was on fire for probably the next 10 minutes or so. So either way, I'll post what I can to YouTube here, so you guys can at least see it if you weren't there. And if you weren't there and you were looking forward to watching that, just remember, you can follow me on Twitter, and I always post like when I have a general idea of when I'm going to go live next. So you can always do that. And then, of course, always, you can follow me at Twitch. I stopped streaming on YouTube because it was killing my channel. So you can follow me at Twitch, where I promise I do mostly original content. I mean, if you can call doing games original content. I promise you I'm not doing the Master Chef meta. But, you know, just follow me on there. You know, you'll get notifications when I go live. So if there's any time that you want to, you know, watch me be a knucklehead live, then I'll be there. And again, I'm not saying that I'm completely quitting Final Fantasy XIV forever. I'll probably play it again later on down the line. I'll probably even stream it. So if you want to see me play the game again later, you know, you can always catch me on Twitch. Who knows? Maybe I'll make videos of it still, but it's not going to be like the primary focus of this channel. Once I know what that focus is going to be, I'll let you know. I'm probably going to make a whole other channel separate for game design related things and other stuff like that. But, you know, this channel will definitely be a gaming channel. So if it's gaming related, it's probably going to come here. So once I know what that is, I'll let you know. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. I think I've talked long enough. Again, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitch. All socials are down below. If you like any of my videos, please consider subscribing, giving me a thumbs up on the videos that you enjoy. Consider sharing my videos if you enjoy the videos with others. Hell, if you just want to piss someone off because, you know, there's a gamer who's quitting Final Fantasy for whatever reason, share it. I don't care. I'll take the heat. But anyway, I'll see you guys in game eventually. Don't know when that's going to be, but I'll definitely be playing it eventually again. So if you guys ever see Syrah Onion Paw on Gilgamesh, uh, give me a wave, and I'll try to wave back if I see the emote. Anyway, thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video, whatever that video is going to be.